In May of this year, Governor Dannel Malloy signed a law that imposes new standards on schools for the prevention and treatment of concussions. With many fall sports underway, local schools are working through their first full season under the new law.
These days, they're taking it much more serious, and they should. They should have years ago, but they didn't.
Joe Madaffari has been the athletic director at Brien McMahon High School for 18 years.
If there's a head injury, we will notify the parents. The head trainer will document the injury. He or she, it's a she this year, will contact the nurse through an email, back and forth. So then the school's aware that the young man or young girl had a concussion. For him or her to come back to participate in athletics, they need a doctor's note. And usually we want to see 10 days out following the injury. And then once the individual comes back athletically, we put him or her through a set of drills and exercises.
So what exactly is a concussion?
A concussion is an injury to the brain, and an injury to a brain can be all different types of severity. It can be something very mild to something that we see with war injuries that lead to traumatic brain injury. The challenge is that there's no test that really tells us the true severity of a concussion.
And Dr. Mark says, when in doubt, sit them out.
If you see a student athlete who you think has had a concussion, has had some sort of ding to their head, don't second guess. They're out of the game. And by state law now, they're not permitted to go back to athletic participation until they have been cleared by an appropriately trained healthcare provider.
After her son suffered a number of concussions in 2008, Catherine Snedeker began to research concussions in youth sports. Since then, she's been an advocate on educating parents and schools about concussion care and prevention.
And through those 5 years, I learned different things, basically what not to do. The first concussion, we pulled him out for 3.5 months. He stayed home, and it was really tough on him academically, socially.
Snedeker created the Concussion Conference to train school nurses and staff in current best practices to help students heal faster.
To explain how this transition from being at home in bed and resting for the first day or two to being back healthy, back on the field. And this progression, it may take 3 weeks in 80% of the kids, it may take 2 months, it may take 6 months. Every concussion is different.
We don't want to rush back to play. You don't want to rush. These kids are young. Their whole life is in front of them. And you don't want to have a situation where he or she down the road is going to have health issues because of injury they had in high school.
The Concussion Conference will take place on Wednesday, September 24th at the Quinnipiac University School of Medicine. In Norwalk, I'm Quadriba Crawfey for It's Relevant News.